大家好。안녕하세요.
아바카발.
konnichiwa.
Hello everyone, welcome to today's talk show, Where's Inequality? Where do we go from here? Today we have representatives from China and Korea, Malaysia, Japan, to discuss the issue of wealth inequality and potential solutions. Let's begin with introductions from our representatives. Could each of you briefly introduce yourselves and explain the situation in your country?
大家好，我的名字是马妮，来自中国，representing China. Over the past few decades, China has experienced rapid economic growth. However, there is still a significant gap between urban and rural areas. The rural regions face challenges in education, healthcare, and overall opportunities, which leads to a circle of poverty. To address this, we need to extend technological advancements to more people and expand rural infrastructure.
안녕하세요. 한국을 대표하는 이유정입니다. Despite rapid economic growth, Korea's economy is still centered around large corporations, and the high cost of living makes it difficult for younger generations. Youth unemployment is high, and finding stable jobs is tough. To solve this, the government needs to take the lead in expanding policies for housing support and social welfare for youth.
Hi, I'm Ganjan Wei, speaking for Malaysia. Malaysia is a country with many ethnic groups and cultures. Where our economy is growing faster, there are big gaps between cities and villages, and between ethnic groups. Problems like unclear policies and coping making things worse. We need a fair and open plan to reduce this difference and create more balance across the city.
こんにちは、日本代表のゆうとです。Japan is facing a slow growth economy and aging population. Women and rural residents are experiencing unequal access to opportunities, which is a major obstacle to economic growth. Moreover, Japanese welfare system is more focused on the elderly, so policies are needed to improve opportunities for youth and women.
The situations in each of your countries are really interesting. Now, let's dive into the first topic. What is the utilitarian approach to solving wealth inequality? Utilitarianism aims to maximize social welfare and happiness. How do you think this perspective can be applied in each of your countries?
From a utilitarian perspective, the most important thing is to ensure that everyone benefits equally. In China, this means improving infrastructure and access to education and healthcare in rural areas. By doing so, people will be able to live better lives, and this will maximize overall happiness in society.
In Korea, the utilitarian approach would focus on addressing the needs of vulnerable groups, particularly the youth and low-income groups. Providing stable jobs for youth and reducing housing costs are crucial. These policies would increase social welfare by improving the living conditions of these groups, ultimately benefiting society as a whole.
In Malaysia, the useful way would be to pay attention to the differences between city and the countryside and the differences among ethnic groups, making sure that people in rural places and ethnic groups that are left out have the same chances to get education and health care will help making everyone happier and improve social defense.
In Japan, focusing on the economic participation of women and rural residents would help maximize social welfare. Policies that improve opportunities for women in the workforce and support rural economic development would lead to greater happiness and well-being for all members of society.
Thank you for your great insight. Now, let's discuss the topic of distributive justice. Distributive justice emphasizes the fair distribution of resources. How can this be applied in each of your countries?
In China, from the perspective of distributive justice, the most pressing issue in China is inequality between urban and rural areas. The government should allocate more resources to the rural regions, focusing on education, healthcare, and infrastructure. This will help reduce the income gap and create a fairer distribution of wealth.
In Korea, we need to focus on income inequality and the need for policies that provide support to the middle and lower income groups. Housing is a particularly serious issue, and there is an urgent need to reform the housing policies. Additionally, we must ensure equal opportunities for lower income individuals to advance in society.
In Malaysia, we must address scenic inequalities in how resources are shared. It's important to have fair places for all ethnic groups and reduce resource gap. The government needs to be clear and constant. An issue wealth is shared fairly across society.
Japan faces a problem with the disparity between urban and rural areas. Rural economic development and creating more opportunities for rural residents should be a priority. This will help reduce inequality and ensure a more balanced distribution of resources.
Great insights, everyone. Now let's move to the third topic, the Marxist approach. Marxism critiques capitalism for perpetuating wealth concentration. How can this issue be addressed in your countries?
From a Marxist perspective, capitalism exacerbates wealth concentration. Although China is still guided by a socialist economic model, elements of capitalism persist. We need structural reform that challenge the inherent contradictions within the capitalist system to reduce wealth concentration and address economic inequality.
In Korea, the dominance of large corporations is a major issue. To address this, we need to strengthen corporate social responsibility and provide more support to small and medium-sized businesses. Ensuring fair wages and implementing income redistribution policies will help tackle the systemic issues of inequality.
In Malaysia, these issues of equal cost and political inequality in significance better. To address this, we need wealth redistribution stability and political reforms, removes competition and ensures that wealth is fairly distribution across the societies. We helped address these insights provided with by kept results.
In Japan, addressing economic stagnation and ensuring a more flexible labor market are crucial. We need to create policies that reduce the power of large corporations and ensure that workers' rights are protected, which will help address wealth concentration in the hands of a few.
Thank you for your thoughtful perspectives. Finally, let's discuss the capabilities approach. This theory emphasizes expanding individuals' opportunities and freedoms. How can this approach be applied in your countries?
About the China, the capabilities approach emphasizes that people should have the freedom to lead lives they value. In China, this means improving access to education and healthcare in rural areas and promoting technological inclusion so that everyone has the opportunity to enhance their skills and opportunities for self-realization.
In Korea, the focus should be on providing equal educational and employment opportunities for marginalized groups such as youth and women. By creating a society where all people have the chance to realize their potential, we can reduce inequality and enhance the overall well-being of society.
In Malaysia, these capabilities approach can be applied by ensuring equal opportunities for all equals groups and provide quite access to education and economic operation. They will invite individuals to rise to their full potential and resistance in Christ that exist between the different groups.
In Japan, applying the capabilities approach would mean empowering women and older adults to participate in the workforce and in social life. By expanding opportunities for these groups, we can enhance their well-being and contribute to the overall development of society.
Thank you for your excellent insights. While wealth inequality is a complex issue, the key takeaways are clear. Addressing the root causes through comprehensive policies, cooperation between nations, and focusing on equality is essential. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope the discussion has brought new perspectives on how we can move towards a more just and equal society.